There is a moment most people never talk about. It is not the moment of sin or the moment of regret. It is the moment in between. The moment you are doing something you know is wrong, and the sky does not crack open. No lightning, no earthquake, no immediate consequence. Just silence, just you and your choice, and the quiet continuation of everything around you. And most people interpret that silence as permission. That is the most dangerous misreading a human being can make. Think about your own life right now. When did things start slipping? It rarely happens all at once. No one wakes up one morning and decides to become distant from Allah. It happens gradually. One prayer shortened, one habit excused, one boundary crossed once, then twice. Then so many times it no longer feels like a crossing, just a place you live now. The distance does not always feel like distance. Sometimes it just feels like life. Busy, moving, full of things to do and people to see and problems to solve. The distance from Allah does not announce itself with sadness. Sometimes it announces itself with a strange kind of numbness, a flatness, a life that looks full from the outside but echoes when you sit alone with it. You know, that feeling. That is not just stress. That is not just exhaustion. That is your soul registering a deficit. Something important is missing. And the part of you that was created for more than this world is quietly telling you so. Allah does not go quiet because He stopped caring. Allah goes quiet sometimes to see what you will do with the silence. And most people fail this test. They fill the silence immediately, reflexively, with noise, with distraction, with anything that stops them from sitting still long enough to hear what the silence is actually asking. Because if you sit with it long enough, the silence starts to ask a question. The question is, where are you going aside from your career or ambitions? Where are you going in the only direction that actually matters? Are you moving closer to Allah, or are you drifting? And if you are drifting, how long has it been? And if you are honest, do you even remember the last time you felt genuinely close? That question is the mercy inside the silence. Allah is not punishing you with the quiet. He is giving you a space that the noise of your life never gives you. A space to hear yourself. A space to feel the gap between who you are and who you were created to be. Here is what most people misunderstand about the concept of being chosen. When people hear that Allah chose them, they imagine it means ease, comfort, a smooth path with clear signs. They think being chosen looks like a life where things go right, where blessings are obvious, where faith feels effortless. But look at who Allah chose throughout history. He chose people who were tested until they had nothing left to hold on to except Him. He chose people whose comfort was stripped away precisely so that they would stop placing their trust in comfort. He chose people who were placed in situations so difficult, so stripped of all other options, that the only door left open was the door back to Him. Being chosen by Allah does not always look like a gift at first. Sometimes it looks like a disruption, a loss. A moment where everything you were relying on shifts beneath your feet. A moment where the life you had built around things other than Allah begins to show its cracks. And in that moment, you have a choice. You can call it bad luck. You can call it the world being unfair. You can look for something else to hold on to, something new to rebuild your sense of security around. Or you can stop and look up and understand that the disruption was not random. Allah says in the Quran, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him." Indeed, Allah will accomplish His purpose. Allah has already set for everything a decreed extent. That verse is not a comfort for people whose lives are going smoothly. That verse is a rope thrown to someone in the middle of a storm. It is Allah saying, "If you let go of everything else and hold on to me, I am enough. I am sufficient." But you have to actually let go. And letting go is the part no one talks about honestly. Because most of us are holding on to things we know, are not serving us. Not because we don't know better, but because the holding feels safer than the releasing. The familiar weight of a wrong habit feels more manageable than the uncertainty of stepping away from it. This is where the real test begins. The test of whether you will choose Allah when the choice is inconvenient. When the choice costs you something. When it means a conversation you don't want to have, a habit you don't want to break, a version of your life you have to let go of. When obedience to Allah requires you to disappoint someone. When it requires you to stand still while everyone around you keeps moving in a direction you know is wrong. That is the test most people are actually in right now. A quiet test. A daily one. A test that repeats itself in small moments, in small choices, in the space between what you know and what you do. Allah says in the Quran, "Do the people think that they will be left to say, 'We believe,' and they will not be tried?" The answer is no, they will be tried. Faith is not a statement you make once and then move on from. It is something that gets tested repeatedly, in ordinary moments, in moments no one else sees. And here is the thing about those unseen moments. They are the ones that actually define you. The version of you that exists when no one is watching. The choices you make in the quiet. The prayers you keep when keeping them is hard. The lines you do not cross when crossing them would be easy. The intentions you hold when holding them costs you something. That is the version of you that Allah is looking at. Not the public version, or the version that performs well in front of others. The version He is looking at is the one in the room alone. The one at 2 a.m. when no decision needs to be announced. The one in the middle of a temptation when the only witness is Allah Himself. Allah says in the Quran, He knows what is concealed and what is witnessed. He is the most great, the most high. He knows. Not in a threatening way. He knows the way a creator knows what He made. He knows the weight you carry that you haven't told anyone about. He knows the effort you make that no one sees. He knows the moments you almost gave in and didn't. He knows the moments you gave in and immediately wished you hadn't. And He knows, better than you do, what you are capable of returning to. This is the part that matters most. Your past does not have the final word on your direction. Most people are living as if their history is their destiny, as if the version of themselves that made wrong choices is the permanent version, as if the distance they have accumulated between themselves and Allah is somehow too wide to cross now. But it is not. Allah says in the Quran, Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful. The verse does not say most sins or sins up to a certain level. It says all, and the address is not to strangers but to His servants, even after the transgression, even after the distance, even after everything. That is Allah, the creator of everything that exists, speaking directly to the part of you that believes you have gone too far, and telling you that you haven't. So here is what this moment is. This is not a coincidence or an algorithm that happened to place this in front of you. This is a door that was opened at a specific time in your specific life, because something in you is ready to walk through it, even if you don't feel ready yet. Readiness is rarely a feeling. It is almost always a decision. You do not need to have everything figured out before you return. You do not need to be a different person first. You do not need to wait for a better season of your life when things are calmer and you have more time and the conditions feel more right. The conditions will never feel perfectly right. That is by design. Allah tests whether you will choose Him in a busy life or a complicated situation, or a moment when every practical reason points toward delay. And the only reason to move now is that He is worth it. And some part of you that felt something just now, the part that has been waiting for a moment like this, already knows that begin again today, not tomorrow or after this week or when you feel more prepared, because one sincere step is all it takes to change the direction of a life. May Allah make this the moment you look back on and say, that was the day everything started shifting. And may He, out of His mercy, never let you need a reminder like this again.